What's up, everybody? It's Will with Atlanta Excellence. It has been a little over a year, but this is my yearly review of Uber. Basically, I want to split this up into two different parts. It's still going to be all in one video. I'm trying to do this under like 15 minutes. But the first part is just going to be, is it worth it? Is it, financially feasible? How much have I made? There are a lot of things to consider. I'm by no means the best driver. I don't even make that. I don't make anything off of referrals, really. I know tons of people are killing it with that. Especially a simple driver here in Atlanta. He makes like 800 plus every week from referrals because he's got some good viral videos and some good advice. But anyway, I would consider myself probably in the top 20% of the drivers here in the Atlanta market. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So, I want to go over my expenses first. I left out a couple of things, but I covered, the major expenses. Your biggest expense is going to be gas. So, basically, on average, I was spending, well over $300. Especially the first 6 months I started driving because I really wanted to save up a lot of money to start my own business, which I have already done. And so, I was kind of just going, driving all out. So my expenses were higher then. And of course, gas prices will fluctuate from summer to winter. But I was spending a lot of money on gas. In 2016, from August till December, I spent almost $2,000. So also car insurance, depending on, your age, how long you've been with your plan, a lot of things kind of go into how much you pay. But yearly it was about $1,300 for me. And then my car payment, I'm still paying off my car. So that was actually it's about the same rate. It's like $102, $103 per month. Tires, for me, that was like the biggest maintenance cost. Luckily, I got in one accident, but I still haven't, like the damage was super minor. I still haven't gotten that dent pulled out yet. They wanted to charge me like $800 to take the whole fender off. I was like, nah, I'll be okay. But tires was what I've spent on the most. I've already gone through 4 or 5 tires already. The first 4, I just wore the snot out of those, and then the 5th one, I actually had to replace it because it had a nail in it. Luckily, I had the road hazard insurance on it, so make sure you guys get that or some type of insurance on your tires because you never know. If you're driving a lot, and Atlanta has construction everywhere, you're probably going to run over something that'll blow your tire. So make sure you have some kind of, fallback for that. So car washes, really depends. So I don't have anywhere in my neighborhood, or I live in an apartment complex. There are no hoses or anything that we can use to really wash up our cars, so I usually go to the local car wash place, and I spend anywhere from like $6 to $12 a week. I usually get 1 or 2 washes a week, usually just the exterior, very rarely the interior. But going off on that, I'm going to try and make this the only tangent I go off on, but I would highly, highly recommend, probably even if you have leather seats, I would recommend car seat covers. It'll just save you a huge headache. I still haven't gotten them yet, but a lot of my friends who just drive have them. And all you do is like zip them on, zip them off, put them in the washer, and then that's done. You don't have to worry about stains if someone throws up. Hopefully it's in, in that area, so you won't have to really, clean a lot up. It's just easier to manage. I've had so much stuff spilled on my car, and it adds up when you have to get it shampooed and vacuumed out and all that stuff. So that's no fun. All right, so let's go on to how much I made. So I made so from when I started, August 2016 till the end of December 2016, I made about $14,000. So it's August, September, October, November, December. So it's about 5 months. It's not too bad, but it's not like, you're not gonna. This is not the whole point of this is it's not gonna be a replacement for a full-time job. Because you can't do this for 30 plus years or however long you want to work for a full-time job. But for me, my expenses are really low. I'm single. I don't have any kids. I have 3 other roommates. So my expenses are really, really low. so that I can save up, to build my own business, which I've already been doing. 14 grand in 5 months, that's still pretty solid. Obviously you gotta minus the expenses, which we'll get to that in a second. And then January through this past August, you can kind of see it decrease a little bit. It fluctuates. Like in May, I did something crazy. I went really ham. Same with June, but the second half, I had more months, but a little bit less money. I only did about 16,000. So the total is right under $30,000. So it's by no means like a lot of money. My first job out of college, I was very blessed. I was making $50,000 a year plus benefits. After taxes, it was like $3,000 a month, which was fine with me, only working 5 days a week. But that job didn't work out. Maybe I'll save that for another video. But anyway, so let's say it's $30,000. All right, these are my major expenses. So let's just round that up to $8,000. So that's $22,000 in my pocket after most of the expenses, minus living costs. So luckily my living costs aren't that much. It's like $1,200 a month. But also I want to include the miles that I put on. So I put on a lot of miles, and I did do some driving. Like I drove down to past Orlando for Thanksgiving, and I've been to Augusta, which is where my parents are, back and forth. But I started with 52,000 miles, and I ended after a year with 107,000 miles, so about 55,000 miles total. Now business miles, I only did about 45,000, but still that's a lot in a year. I've never even come close to that before I started driving. So if you're thinking about full-time, you definitely want to look at a car around or below 50,000 miles. I know some drivers who got, really cheap cars that have over 90, over 100,000 miles, but you expect the maintenance to be, a lot more expensive, to happen a lot more frequently. So some things I included, and you'll see why I excluded these, and they kind of balance each other out when it comes to major expenses and income. So eating out, this can be potentially huge, and I would recommend you watch out for this. Like try and eat, and it's hard to stay healthy too. Try and eat out while you're on the road, once or twice a week, because it racks up. If you're spending $5 per meal, if you're driving 6 days, that's $30 a week. That's $120 a month. That adds up really quickly. I also carry water and bubble gum mints, that kind of stuff. That's like $16 every 3 months. It's like $5 a month, so it's not that bad. Facebook ads, I don't even know why I put that in here. I think I just did like some videos to help with getting referral codes, getting references to sign up other drivers. I didn't really put that much into it. Car registration fees, your license, because you have to renew it every year, doing all that. That was like $25, so didn't include that. Parking fees, didn't really have any of those. Tickets, never got one. Accidents, had one but never paid for it because it was so minor. And then tips. I will say now that Uber has included tips into their overall app. I've seen somewhat of an increase. I've been getting tips, not to like brag, but I feel like I provide a tip-worthy service. I do the right things. I'm friendly. I'll get into that later, or in another video. But now it is easier to make money. People are more inclined, and it's right there in the app. If you've, impressed that person, they'll tip you $1, and you can see it too. So all that kind of cancels each other out. So I really want you guys to see this, make sure you study your market. But yeah, I want you guys just, take this in before, you make the plunge. I did not include, I own my car. I only pay my, loan payment. I don't pay any kind of rent. So if you're thinking about renting a car, really look into that. I know it can be kind of expensive. I don't really know anybody who's doing it and making a lot of money. So just do your research. Please do your research. And, if this looks good to you, if this is something you want, and then, if you're doing this part-time, I wouldn't necessarily cut this in half, but part-time, this can be phenomenal on the weekends. Whether you're saving up for vacation or, paying off student debt or credit card debt slowly, this is phenomenal. So that's really all I have for the financial, is it kind of worth it section. It depends on you. I will add another thing. So for taxes, so I was able to write off 45,000 miles. So that right there is over $20,000 I could write off, which is awesome. And I ended up getting a tax return of over $200. I gained money from taxes, so make sure you guys keep track of that. I've talked about that in another video. If you have any questions on like taxes, I can't legally give you advice, but I can kind of point you in the right direction of what I've done and what's worked for me. Alright, so I know I said I was going to make this video under 15 minutes. It might go a little bit longer. This second part is more of like why I even considered doing this. People ask me, and this answer changes, especially when they get in my car. Well, of course when they get in my car because I'm giving them rides, but when people ask me, well, how do you like it? Now I just say it's been an experience. It definitely has been an experience. I've never had anything really serious happen. The most serious things I've had were like this person left a big bag of meth in my car, and this other guy, poor guy, he bled all over my seat because I picked him up from dialysis. I'll save that for another story. But I've never really had, I've never had anybody threaten my life. I know that's happened. I know drivers have died from that, sadly. I try and stay away from areas I know, can be dangerous. I don't drive out late at night anymore, and if I do, I stay more in the suburb area. Not saying that bad things won't happen there, but it's definitely a lot less likely. But I quit my last job to do this because, one, I wanted the flexibility to focus on starting my own businesses, which is going to lead to my passion, which is creating music. I DJ and I produce electronic music here in Atlanta. Let me turn this down a little bit. So I needed something to where I could literally pick my hours. It's allowed me to, start my own business now. So I'll probably make a separate video on that. But, this isn't like a whole rant on the 9-to-5 sucks. My parents did the 9-to-5. I did the 9-to-5. I just didn't feel like it allowed me to have the flexibility. So that's why I did this. And, would I recommend this to other people who are trying to replace their job? No. You can't, this is by no means a career unless you find a way to brand yourself. Rideshare guy, Uberman, simple driver, heck, even Terry Tips, who I've watched a lot, who's also a local Atlanta driver. They've all figured out ways to really brand themselves very well, mostly through YouTube videos. I know Rideshare guy, I think he started with a blog, just sharing his information, which is what I'm doing. And from that branding, they've been able to establish a community of followers who reach out to them or who go to them for information, and that usually ends up, in their favor, so that they can get, all these referral codes to, make the $50 to $500 per referral. So, I'm kind of trying to do that, but really I'm just, I'm actually just doing this for my own records. Just, it's going to be weird. Everything's on the internet now, so, maybe if YouTube won't be here 20 years from now, but I'll probably be able to go back to this video somewhere 20 years from now and be like, oh my lord, I can't believe I was that young. Something stupid like that. But yeah, just really, really do your research, study your market, see where you're at financially, and if you're definitely going to do this full-time, I would definitely consider hiring a full-time, like, tax advisor, attorney, something like that, someone who can, handle your taxes. I've never done like HR block or anything like that, but to me it's just more peace of mind when I can talk to somebody who knows, who's been doing it. Like the person I go to is a good family friend. She used to work for the IRS. She owns her own company now that deals with, handling people's taxes. So I'm at total peace of mind with that. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section. My website's kind of messed up right now, so honestly the best way to reach me is through YouTube comments. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys, and as always, be safe, drive safe, and I'll see you guys later.